to have you join me on Housing Development this week, the only platform where you get reliable information on housing matters. As always, I am Flora Ani, your housing diva. On our lineup today, we'll hear from some stakeholders as they speak on possible solutions to address Nigerians' housing need. Coming up also is the 15th Abuja International Housing Show Exhibition and CEO Forum for high-profile personalities. All this and much more right after the news headline. Let's hook you up with our news desk. I'll be right back.
The amount of non-performing loans recorded by Nigerian banks in real estate and construction sectors rose to 226.62 billion naira at the end of last year. Latest data obtained from the National Bureau of Statistics have shown the NPLs in the real estate and construction sectors jumped by 66.57% in 2020 from 136.05 billion naira in 2019, according to the NBS data. The Statistics Office said the bad loans in the real estate sector rose by 12.87% to 56.03 billion naira at the end of 2020 from 49.65 billion in December 2019. Edo State government has warned property developers against erecting structures without obtaining building plan permits from the Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. The Permanent Secretary in Ministry, Chris Abode, on Thursday in an online statement said that violation of the extant town planning laws and regulations will not be tolerated. He said the government was determined to administer appropriate sanctions in accordance with the law. In fulfillment of its promise to provide affordable housing for her teeming population, the federal government has revealed plans to launch a web housing portal that will afford Nigerians the opportunity to purchase houses made available by government. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, who made this revelation at the 9th meeting of the National Council on Land, Housing and Urban Development in Jos Plateau State, stated that the platform would enable contributors to the National Housing Fund access mortgage loans on a first-come, first-served basis. He said the ministry is currently at the completion stages of the first phase of the National Housing Program in 34 states of the Federation, which provided land for it. South Africa is currently pursuing public-private partnerships with Sun City Resort in a bid to revamp the city. A delegation of South Africa's Northwest Provincial Government, led by Premier Professor Tebogo Job Mokoro, recently met with the management of the Sun City Resort, which is located north of the platinum-rich Rustenburg town, for the deal. In the discussion, parties were looking at ways to expand the resort and improve the different infrastructure that will unlock the maximum tourism boom in the resort, which is regarded as the key tourism asset in the country during and beyond the COVID-19 pandemic. The resort presented future plans to expand the establishment, which included the new hotel to attract more visitors for sports, conferencing, arts and culture activities, or leisure, amongst others.
Fully persuaded about the need for a more sustainable, modern, creatively crafted and functional design, Urban Shelter Limited has developed yet another masterpiece that so easily breaks the borders of creativity and dispels mediocrity. Well seated on over 210,000 square meter of land and marked for housing development, the Promenade Estate is located in an excellent part of the Federal Capital Territory, Lokogoma, a central point in Abuja. Proximal to most places of relative significance and attraction and edged by multiple access roads where homeowners can swiftly meet up with schedules and appointments. Pushing the frontiers of communal living, the Promenade Estate has within its borders 2-bedroom and 4-bedroom semi-detached for the purpose of facilitating communal living, while homeowners have well-defined mutually exclusive spaces. The Promenade Estate appeals to the minds of intellectuals, professionals, and homeowners who have a thirst for a house that sits comfortably on global standard. Urban shelter setting the pace.
You're watching Housing Development. For more housing news, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. You can also visit our YouTube channel, Housing TV Africa, for steady housing news update. In a country where public housing is acutely shrinking and the housing deficit keeps increasing, some people still find it so difficult to rent an apartment, despite having the funds to get themselves accommodation. Some landlords decline giving their houses out, and the reasons for this vary. Housing development crews sampled the opinions of some Nigerians on Voices on the Street. Let's have a look.
I prefer a family person, to be honest with you, because a single person, you cannot dictate when he's coming in and when he's going out. But as a family person, you know that either the dad is out to work and is going to come back to some time, or the kids are off to school and they're going to come back to some time.
If I were a landlord, I think I would like to rent it to a single person young, knowing that these days the world is moving to be more dynamic. It's difficult for the youth to get accommodation. It would be good to kind of, go with the trend where, just like in offices these days, you have people creating workstations. I think you also need something similar like that for real estate, for homes, so that young people can have a chance to rent a room in a building and start small, maybe pay a monthly rent. I've heard about something called, I think it's called Rent Now, or Rent Small, which just means you can be able to pay monthly. And I think Nigeria needs to encourage the youth to be able to grow, because our future really depends on the youth. And the more youth can get affordable housing, the better they can be more productive in the country.
Most landlords prefer to rent their house to family people because they feel like you can't run because of your family and you wouldn't want your family to be sent out of the house. But as a single person, you can just decide to move out of the house without letting the landlord know and, vandalize their properties and the rest. But even at that, even married people too, some of them still don't pay their rents.
I'm more comfortable with a family person because he will have a constraint to an extent. But the basic thing we should look out for is when you are giving your house out to anybody, either individual or family person, we should look at, check their background a little bit to an extent. Know where they work, know where they're coming from. Do your normal basic security check. And you should have a little kind of rules in your building. Now, maybe if it's a compound that have like a mini estate, the gate should be locked maybe from 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock and all that. So anybody coming into that place should identify himself properly.
A family person, precisely. Because I know the occupant is working and at least I know there's something coming in. So, and he has responsibilities, so he knows basically when it's time to pay his or her rent, he will pay.
If I should be a landlord in FCT Abuja, I'd rather rent the apartment to a single person. You know that the person that is a single person, it's easy for the person to foot the bill. While that of a married person, he find it difficult because he has to think of the family first before thinking of to pay the bills. And it depends on the kind of house that you have.
emphasis on the strip there, whether married or single, what is more important is having a legitimate source of income that will enable you pay your rent on time. Landlords should not make life any harder for individuals, either married or single, seeking to rent their property. Just state out your rules. If they are comfortable with it, that is fine. I'll be back shortly.
One of the most prominent features of your house is your roof. Your roof will tell how old your building is. At Plus World, we pride ourselves in having the expertise and products to bring your roof back to life. While other roofing companies suggest removing the roof, we restore the roof with warranty assurance. Let Plus World Roofing recoat your old and fading roofs and make your roofs brand new. Our products are eco-friendly and completely harmless to human and the environment. We offer services that will sustain your roof's integrity and by extension, your property value. This includes roof repairs and maintenance for residential, commercial, and industrial properties. Our roof restoration solution saves you up to 70% the cost of replacing your roof. Contact Plus World Roofing today.
Welcome back. You're watching Housing Development. Having stable housing policies, the presence of political will and proper implementation of sustainable housing policies and enabling environment are some of the things that are quite fundamental to the attainment of affordable housing goals in any nation. Nigeria is still on its path to achieving the housing needs of her citizens. Now let's hear from some housing stakeholders as they provide solutions to achieving affordable housing in Nigeria.
There has to be strong political will. Housing must be on top of the government agenda. Housing must be given the right resources. And we as Shelter Afrique want to work with the Nigerian government on the supply side through the supporting of public-private partnerships where government comes in with land or subsidized infrastructure, and then we come in with funding and also developers that have the capacity to build 1,000 units of housing and more.
We need to have a policy that addresses first-time home ownership, that it's such that when you come out from university, so to speak, as happened in my days where I lived, you're able to say when you're in work, within a short time of starting in your career, you're able to own your own home. So we progressively allow people to do that. But to do that, we need to actually also prepare the ground for it. And that means we need to build houses that are suited to their needs, houses that are what they want, in locations that are suited to their lifestyles so that they can go to work within a reasonable time. We don't need to build the houses 50, 100 kilometers away from their business location.
Moving forward, I think it is government's responsibility to provide the enabling environment and allow the private sector to play in the market. So if things like access to land, titling, infrastructure, those things are dealt with by government and made available, then private sector will come with its funds and provide the houses in a way that meets the needs of the people. There is no point providing housing that people cannot afford or that people cannot live in. It is necessary for you to provide what meets your peculiar housing environment. And housing environment changes from location to location, from people to people, depending on their economic base, the realities, geography. So many factors affect this, and it is necessary for us to now start making housing fit, for the people that require it, even across the states, because what you might need in the north might not necessarily be what you need in the south or in the west. So we need to be adaptable with our housing provision. There's nothing like one size fits all. It doesn't work.
Still on preferring solutions that can move the housing sector forward, how can you kickstart your home ownership process? The MD, CEO of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, Architect Ahmed Dangewa, will speak more on the National Housing Fund and its benefits.
National Housing Fund scheme is a scheme that is being managed by the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, and it was established to provide home ownership for Nigerians, especially the low and medium income earners. It's a contributory scheme whereby Nigerians, whether the formal or informal, private or public, they contribute 2.5% of their monthly earnings into the pool of funds that is being managed by FMBN, by Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria. When these funds are collected, it's from this pool of funds that we provide mortgages to Nigerians. As you should know that the pool of funds is refundable. Whoever contributes this money is refundable when you retire, and then your contributions determines what you need to, it gives you leverage to approach the bank to get mortgage loan from the bank. Through the NHF, we are providing NHF loans to either buy or construct or even renovate your own house. We give soft loan to buy your own house at 6% to pay over a period of 30 years up to a maximum of 15 million naira. We give you loan to construct your own house at your own location. As long as you have a CFO, you have the design, you have the costing, then you approach any of our branches, they will package you, and then you get a loan to construct your own house anywhere in the country where you need it. We also give home renovation loans. It's a soft loan that is given, though it's 1 million naira, but people in the rural areas use it not only to renovate, they use it to construct their own houses. You'll find there was 1 million naira in the rural local government. You can acquire a plot of land at 100,000 naira, 50 by 50 size of plot, and then you can build 3 or 4 bedrooms there within a courtyard with their entrance, kitchen, and other conveniences of toilet and kitchen with the courtyard. You own a house. We also give construction finance to developers to build houses for the NHF contributors. Most of the loan that we give to these the developers, they are meant purposely to build houses for NHF contributors. So when you build the houses, you now bring it forward to the bank. We choose a PMB who will package it. Or we go through the rent-to-own is another window, whereby rent-to-own is most of these are funded estates. Once you are packaged, you go in while paying your rental income, the houses is becoming your own. At the end of the day, there will be a time when you have paid the entire, through your rent, you are able to pay for the house and the house becomes yours. So these are some of the products and services the NHF scheme provides.
Hi, I'm Bob Weinsheng, CEO of iBuild Global. Keep watching the Housing Development Program.
Architect Ahmed Dangewa there, the MD CEO of Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, speaking on the National Housing Fund, its benefits, how to access the fund, and also getting a refund. So why not start your home ownership process today by connecting to FMBN?
What is the name of my grandson?
Suleiman.
That's a good name. May the Almighty preserve him.
Amen.
Now that your family is growing, this is the time for you to start thinking of a house of your own.
Abba, the thought of this has always been on my mind. To build a house now, you need a lot of money, and that is what is holding me back.
Sonny, what you need is a mortgage. NHF mortgage loan. With NHF mortgage loan, you own a house upfront and pay gradually over a long period of time.
Abba, I will go to the FMBN office right away.
Come join us at FMBN and let's shelter Nigeria together.
My name is Robert Hornsby with American Home Builders of West Africa. Keep watching Housing Development Program.
You're watching Housing Development. While Abuja International Housing Show is the most preferred event for trade and exhibition, it is also the choice conference destination for corporate chief executive officers in housing and construction. A special section called the CEO's Forum is the biggest convergence of important personalities sharing ideas, experience and expertise on how to lead a more effective and financially inclusive industry. This event hosts over 200 CEOs from various companies and firms in the housing, construction and business industries across Africa and the world. These CEOs in the real estate, mortgage housing finance, construction companies and professional institutions will engage in conversations that will focus on macroeconomic and socio-political environment and their impact on the real estate market and housing in general. The forum, which is a gathering of high-profile professionals who are founders and business owners, will give opportunity to present and discuss challenges facing their respective organizations and the way forward. To register either as an exhibitor for the CEO Forum or conference participant, visit www.ihsabuja.com.
My name is Hussam Maher. I'm the General Manager of CDK. I'm inviting all the Nigerians to come to see the quality we are producing. We are proud to produce here in Nigeria. This is the third time for us here, and we are very happy because each time we are seeing more development coming, more real estate companies, more constructions company. So we think it's going to be one of the biggest international in Africa.
Any takeaway, Mr. President, we need to buffer and to increase, to expand the advocacy platform. It is very expensive. It is very expensive. Thank you.
A lot of developments are in Abuja. A lot are in Lagos. How many are done in states? A lot of states have lands that they can give and do joint ventures. Many of the developers have not talked to them. A lot of the cooperative associations are not done. We have not talked about the policy to change even cooperatives to beyond the finance so that a lot of people that contribute, there's a percentage that is saved towards housing cooperatives, which means you can't use it for multi-purpose. Thank you.
What the low-income earners want, they want their own bungalow, they want their own premises, they want their own fence. So it really would be helpful if OP does have some kind of budget to help us. You know, there has to be a reorientation, there has to be a paradigm shift, there just have to be a change in their thinking. Thank you very much.
FHA for 30 years of existence, they built 30,000 as an average of 1,000 per annum. What can we do? What are the three things that will lead to massive construction in this country? If you can tell us from a practical point of view, maybe we learn.
Out of the 4 cardinal factors of human life, housing is more prominent. If we don't do so, forget it.
The CEO's Forum, connecting leaders in real estate, mortgage and banking.
Show is a very productive event. You come around here to meet over 50,000 persons. It's been very productive. I mean, since we started coming here, there has been a greater brand awareness, and you meet the corporate world, you meet the public, you meet the masses, and then you do business in a great way and in a special way. I think that's part of the reason why we're here.
This is where we'll wrap up today's episode of Housing Development. Thanks for watching. I remain Flora Ani, your Housing Diva. Do have a lovely day.